Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information anywhere on the planet right here from your friends at Elite Realty Group. And today's episode is especially important to me because Elite Realty Group, we've just launched a new initiative called our Veterans Home Buying Program. And that program is specifically created to help veterans, active duty service members, eligible National Guard and Reserve members, and qualifying surviving spouses. It's designed to help them better understand their home buying opportunities. The purpose of this program is not to pressure anyone into buying a house. It is not to make promises about financing before someone has spoken with a qualified lender. And it's not to suggest that every veteran should purchase a home immediately. The purpose of the program is education. It's service. It is helping people who served our country understand a benefit they may have earned and helping them determine whether homeownership, whether it makes sense for their individual situation. Our message is simple. You served our country. Let us serve you. And one of the reasons this program is necessary is that there is still a tremendous amount of confusion surrounding VA loans. Some veterans, they don't realize that they even may be eligible. Some assume they can't qualify because their credit's not perfect. And honestly, some believe they need this big, large down payment. Some people have been told that VA loans are just too difficult. And some sellers they're hesitant to accept an offer involving VA financing. And unfortunately, some real estate professionals, they just do not fully understand the VA product either. So today I want to separate fact from fiction. We are going to discuss what a VA-backed home loan actually is. We're going to address several of the most common myths. And we're going to talk about what veterans should do before beginning the home buying process. We also are going to explain why sellers and real estate professionals should not automatically view a qualified VA buyer as a weaker buyer. Now, before I begin, I want to make something very clear. Elite Realty Group is a real estate brokerage. We're not a mortgage lender. And this podcast is not to promise a loan approval or any specific loan terms. Every veteran's financial circumstances are completely different. Eligibility for a VA home loan benefit and qualification for any mortgage, they're not the same thing. A qualified lender must review your income, your credit, your debt, your employment, entitlement, occupancy plans, and other relevant information. Our role is to help veterans ask the right questions, connect with knowledgeable pros, understand the real estate process, and create a plan. So with that being said, let's start with the most basic question. What exactly is a VA loan? So a VA home loan is not generally money loaned directly to the veteran by the Department of Veterans Affairs. The loan normally comes through a private lender, such as a bank, credit union, or a mortgage company. Now, the VA guarantees a portion of the loan against loss. Because part of the loan is backed by the VA, participating lenders may be able to offer borrowers more favorable terms than they might receive through some other loan products. The VA home loan was created to help eligible service members, veterans, and certain surviving spouses to help them purchase a home. It is a benefit connected to service, but having the benefit does not mean that every veteran is automatically approved for every house at every price. The veteran must first establish eligibility, normally through a certificate of eligibility. Then the veteran must qualify financially through a lender. The property, it plays a role because it has to meet the applicable requirements also. So let's address this first myth. Myth number one, the VA loan means anyone who served is automatically approved. Listen, that is not true. Eligibility and loan approval, they are two totally different steps. The veteran may be eligible for the VA loan benefit, but still need to meet the lender's requirements concerning income, credit, debts, employment, and the ability to repay the loan. The home also needs to be intended for the veteran's occupancy under applicable rules. This distinction is important because we never want to create what we're going to call false expectations. The Veterans Home Buying Program is designed to help someone explore their options, not announce that they are approved before a lender has literally reviewed the facts. The first step may be determining whether the person is simply just eligible for the service. The next step may be obtaining the certificate of eligibility. Then comes the lender's financial review. After that, we can begin building a realistic home buying strategy. Now, the goal is not simply to tell someone what they want to hear. The goal is to help them understand exactly where they stand and what steps may come next. Now, let's go myth number 2. So myth number 2, you have to have perfect credit to use a VA loan. This is another common misconception. The VA itself does not simply advertise one universal credit score that guarantees approval with every lender. Individual lenders make underwriting decisions and may establish their own requirements within the program guidelines. That means one veteran's experience with one lender may not represent every possible option. The veteran should not assume that a past financial challenge that it automatically knocks them out of the possibility of home ownership. At the same time, we should not tell someone that credit does not matter, because it does matter. Payment history matters. Current debt matters. The income, the veteran's income matters. Recent financial behavior, all of that matters. The responsible message is this: do not disqualify yourself before speaking to someone qualified to evaluate your situation. Perhaps you are 100% ready now. Maybe you need just a 6-month plan. Maybe you need to pay down debt, correct an error, establish a stronger payment history, or save some additional money. There's no shame in simply needing a plan. A plan is progress. One of the goals of our Veterans Home Buying Program is to replace uncertainty with a clear next step. Now let's go to myth number 3. The VA loan means absolutely no money will ever be needed. This myth usually begins with the phrase zero down. One of the most significant potential benefits of a VA-backed purchase loan is the possibility of buying without a down payment, provided the veteran qualifies and the sales price does not exceed the home's appraised value. But zero down payment does not always mean $0 involved in the entire transaction. A buyer still and are likely to encounter expenses such as an earnest money deposit, home inspection, appraisal, closing related expenses, moving costs, utility deposits, maybe immediate maintenance, insurance related expenses, and honestly, other costs, depending on the transaction and what it needs. Now, some closing costs may be negotiated. Certain costs may be paid by the seller, the lender, or another party when permitted. The VA funding fee may also apply unless the borrower qualifies for an exemption. The amount of that funding fee can depend on factors such as the type of loan, whether the benefit's been used before, and the size of any down payment. The funding fee may generally be paid at closing or sometimes even financed in the loan. This is why veterans need a full financial conversation, not simply a slogan. Zero down can be a very powerful benefit, but responsible home ownership also means being prepared for the other expenses that come with buying and owning a home. A veteran should understand the estimated cash needed, the projected monthly payment, insurance, maintenance, and the financial reserves that they're going to have after closing. So the question is not merely, can I get into a house? The better question is, can I comfortably own and maintain this house after I receive the keys? Let's go myth number 4. I don't like this one because myth number 4 is VA buyers are weak buyers. This is one of the most damaging myths in the marketplace. Some sellers and agents see VA financing and an offer, and they immediately assume the buyer is less qualified, has no money, or going to create problems. That assumption is unfair and can completely be inaccurate. A VA buyer may have a strong income. A VA buyer may have excellent credit. A VA buyer may have substantial savings. A VA buyer may choose not to make a down payment because the benefit allows them to preserve their cash. Choosing to use an earned benefit, that don't automatically indicate there's a financial weakness. Now think about that. If a veteran has access to a financing option that may allow no down payment, no monthly private mortgage insurance, why should using that benefit automatically be viewed negatively? The quality of an offer should be evaluated. It should be on the complete and total offer. That includes the buyer's financial qualification, lender preparation, price, contingencies, requested terms, closing timeline, and the professionals, their opinion, the people involved, it matters. The VA should not just be used as a shortcut judging the strength of a buyer. Sellers deserve accurate information. Veterans deserve fair consideration. And real estate professionals, well, we have a responsibility to understand the products represented in the offers that we are presenting. Let's go myth number 5. VA loans always take longer to close. A VA transaction does not involve specific steps. There must be appropriate lender processing. There is typically a VA appraisal. There may be property-related conditions that need to be addressed, but that does not mean every VA transaction is automatically slow. Many delays blamed on the loan product may actually result from poor prep, missing documents, communication problems, property issues, or just inexperienced participants. The lender matters big time. The real estate agent matters big time. The responsiveness of the buyer, it matters. The condition of the property, that matters. The contract terms, communication of everyone involved, all of those things, they matter. An experienced and prepared team can identify issues early. The buyer can provide documents promptly. The lender can begin the process very quickly. The agent can create realistic contract timelines, and the seller can respond promptly if a property concern, well, if it appears. No loan product can guarantee a problem-free closing, but a VA loan should not automatically be rejected because someone once heard that these transactions, well, they always take too long. The better question for a seller is, how qualified is this buyer? How prepared is the lender? How complete is the offer? And are the proposed timelines, are they realistic? Let's go myth number 6. The VA appraisal is a complete home inspection. Listen, it is not. This is extremely important because veteran home buyers, and it's important for veteran home buyers to understand that the appraisal, it establishes a reasonable value of the property, whether it meets the minimum property requirements. But the appraisal is not a substitute for a thorough home inspection. An appraiser is not performing at all the same process as a home inspector. Now, the VA, they strongly encourage you to get a home inspection. A home inspector, they may evaluate visual components, systems in much greater detail and identify any defects, maintenance concerns, and areas that should be examined by a qualified professional. A veteran should not say, well, the VA looked at it, so I don't need a home inspection. Those are two different evaluations serving two totally different purposes. The appraisal helps address value and applicable property standards. The inspection helps the buyer understand the physical condition of the home. The inspection, it's going to show things like problems with the roof, the electrical systems, the plumbing, heating and cooling, moisture, foundation, components, appliances, safety concerns, and literally anything else, any other visible conditions that a home inspector could see. Now, no inspection guarantees that every problem is going to be discovered, but skipping the inspection to save money can expose a buyer significantly to larger expenses after closing. Let's go myth number 7. Myth number 7, the VA requires the seller to repair everything. The VA appraisal is not intended to make an older home perfect or force a seller to update every cosmetic feature. The focus is generally on reasonable and valuable things that meet these property requirements. Now, that may include things that affect the safety, sanitation, structural soundness of a home. Peeling paint on an older home, inadequate systems, certain moisture or safety concerns, or other conditions that may require attention depending on the property and the applicable requirements. But ordinary wear, outdated decor, older kitchen, or carpet color the buyer dislikes does not automatically mean the VA is going to require the seller to renovate the house. There's also an important distinction between something the VA requires and something the lender or the buyer may request on an inspection. Those are not automatically the same thing. The buyer may request repairs. The seller may agree, refuse, or negotiate depending on the contract and the circumstances. A required property condition may need to be corrected for the loan to proceed. But the phrase VA should, the VA appraisal should not be used to say this all is mandatory. Clear communication matters. The agents, the lender, the appraisers, inspectors, and appropriate pros, well, we've all got different roles and we need to stay to our role. Now, myth number 8, sellers should avoid VA offers because the appraisal will always come in low. The VA appraiser does not begin the assignment with the goal of destroying the transaction. The appraiser's role includes developing an opinion of reasonable value based on the market evidence and evaluating applicable property requirements. The appraised value may support the contract price. It may come in above the contract price, or it may come in below the contract price. That possibility exists with other finance transactions as well. The appraiser does not simply ask, well, what did the seller hope to receive? It examines the property and relevant market information. So if a home is priced reasonably and the offer is supported by the market, the presence of VA financing does not automatically mean the value is going to be reduced. Real estate professionals should prepare appraisers with appropriate access and relevant property information when they're permitted to do so. Sellers should understand the comparable sales. Buyers, well, they should understand the relationship between the offer price and the appraised value. And everyone should avoid promising a specific appraisal result. Let's go myth number 9. Veterans can only use the benefit one time. Many veterans mistakenly believe that once they've used the VA-backed home loan benefit, that it's permanently gone, can't do it anymore. The benefit may be reusable. The veteran's available entitlement and the circumstances surrounding a previous VA loan, they matter. In some cases, entitlement can be restored after the prior loan's paid off and that property is sold. There can also be circumstances involving remaining entitlement. So the correct answer depends on the veteran's individual situation. The point is this: don't assume that having used the benefit before, well, that it automatically disqualifies you and you're never going to be able to use it again. Speak with a knowledgeable VA lender and see what that certificate of eligibility says. Let's go myth number 10. Only first-time home buyers can use a VA loan. The VA loan home benefit is not limited to only first-time buyers. An eligible veteran may be totally may be doing the first home, but they also may be moving into a larger home. They may be downsizing. They may be relocating. They may be buying again after previously owning. Eligibility and entitlement must still be evaluated, but prior home ownership alone does not automatically prevent someone from using the benefit. Now, this matters because, well, there's some veterans assume the program is only designed for a young service member purchasing that first starter home. The benefit can potentially serve veterans at different stages of their life. So what should they do first? So if you're a veteran or eligible service member considering purchasing a home in Morristown, Hamblen County, Jefferson County, Grainger County, or anywhere else in the Lakeway area, where should you begin? First, don't begin by randomly touring houses. Don't just go look around. Begin by understanding your position. Determine whether you may have VA home loan eligibility. Ask about obtaining that certificate of eligibility. Speak with a lender who is genuinely knowledgeable about VA financing, not someone who handles one VA loan every few years and is trying to learn the product while working on your transaction. You want someone who can explain eligibility, entitlement, the estimated payment for you, the funding fee and possible exemptions, closing costs, credit requirements, income documentation, you got to get all that stuff. The property even matters. What are the requirements for the property? And let them tell you what that realistic timeline is. Second, determine a comfortable payment, not merely the maximum amount someone may be willing to lend you. Don't become house poor. There can be a major difference between what you qualify to borrow and what fits comfortably, what you feel good about in your life. Consider more than just a house, your monthly obligations, your family expenses, your vehicle payments, childcare, insurance, maintenance on the house. What's the utilities going to cost? What do you want to save? What about your retirement? And the amount of financial margin that you want to preserve. Owning a home should strengthen your life. It should not leave your family financially suffocated. The third thing, work with a real estate professional who understands VA transactions. The agent should understand that the veteran's benefit is an advantage to be used properly, not an inconvenience for which the veteran should apologize for. The agent should know how to explain a VA offer to the seller. They should understand the basic process. They should communicate with the lender. They should help identify potential concerns maybe with different properties. And they should never make promises that belong to the lender, to the appraiser, to the inspector, to an attorney, or another professional. Now, the fourth thing is, listen, have the property inspected. Remember, the appraisal and inspection are not the same thing. Learn as much as reasonably possible about the home before closing. Fifth, stay financially steady during the entire transaction. Don't assume that being under contract means that the loan is finished. Before making major financial changes, speak with the lender. Listen, this is crazy to say, but that includes changing jobs, opening any new credit, buying a vehicle, financing any furniture, moving large amounts of money without documentation, co-signing for someone else, or taking on another major obligation, or simply quitting your job. A buyer can be fully prepared at the beginning and unintentionally create a qualification problem before the closing. Now, what should sellers know about this VA loan? So, sellers in our marketplace should understand that a veteran using VA financing may be a highly qualified and a highly motivated buyer. So, evaluate the complete offer if you get that. Don't reject the buyer merely because the financing is VA backed. Ask your agent these questions. Ask them for the buyer's pre approval. Ask what lender's involved. Ask about the timelines, any concessions, closing costs, the contingencies, and look at the overall strength of the offer. A conventional offer is not automatically stronger. A cash offer is not automatically better in every detail. And a VA offer is not automatically weaker. Every single offer should be evaluated as the complete and total package. Now, also remember that the VA benefit represents the buyer may have earned access to that benefit through military service. They're not asking the seller for charity. They earned it. They are attempting to use a legitimate home loan benefit. That does not mean a seller must accept any unfavorable terms to them. A seller still has the right to evaluate the financial and contractual details, but the evaluation should be based on facts rather than outdated assumptions. So, why did Elite Realty Group, why did we launch this veterans home buying program? Well, we launched it because we found that too many people, they've separated opportunity. They've looked at opportunity and they've got confused and they don't think it exists. They don't think their credit's good enough. They may have been told that, well, a seller ain't going to accept your offer. They may assume that they need tens of thousands of dollars before they could even ask a question. They may have used the benefit and believe that it's totally gone. They may now be renting because nobody clearly ever explained the process to them. Or they may be financially ready, but they just don't know who to trust. Our program is designed to create a simple path. The first thing we do is listen. We learn about the veteran's goals, your military connection, your current housing situation, your preferred timelines, and the concerns you have. Second, we're going to help you explore your options. That may include connecting you with a knowledgeable lender who can review eligibility and financial qualification. Third thing we're going to do is we're going to help you create a plan. For some people, that plan may lean toward purchasing soon. And for others, it may lead to improving your credit, reducing your debt, saving money, or just simply waiting until the time's right. The fourth thing, we're going to help guide you through the whole entire process when you are ready. From finding the right home, understanding the offer, getting those inspections done, responding to property issues that you may have, preparing you for closing, and making the transition into home ownership, making it a good thing. Listen, there's no shame in being told, not yet, but not yet does not have to mean never. Sometimes the greatest service we can provide is replacing a rejection with a simple roadmap. So here's a message to the real estate pros, to the real estate professionals that may be watching or listening to this podcast today. We've got a responsibility to stop repeating myths about VA buyers. We need to learn the product. We need to build relationships with qualified VA lenders. We got to understand the difference between the appraisal and an inspection. We got to learn how to explain the strengths of a VA offer. We got to identify potential property concerns early, and we got to communicate that information. And listen, never make the veteran feel that using an earned benefit make them an undesirable buyer. We should also avoid the opposite mistake. We should not oversell the program. Don't make a promise that every veteran is going to have zero down at closing. Don't make a promise they're all approved. Don't make a promise that every property qualifies. Don't make a promise on any particular rate. Don't minimize the funding fee. Don't tell someone that the appraisal will protect them from every defect. Education must be accurate to be valuable. So let's close this out. Veterans have spent enough of their lives navigating very complicated systems. The path to home ownership, it should not become more difficult because of misinformation. The VA home loan benefit can be an extraordinary opportunity for eligible borrowers. It may allow qualified veterans to purchase without a down payment when the property's price and appraised value, well, when they support that. It does not require monthly private mortgage insurance, which is a good thing. It may provide competitive terms. It can be used by eligible buyers at different stages in their life, and it may be reusable. But it is not automatic approval. It is not a promise that no money will be needed. It is not a substitute for a home inspection. It does not mean every property or every borrower will qualify. That's why education matters. That's why preparation matters. And that is why choosing experienced professionals matters. And that is why Elite Realty Group created our Veterans Home Buying Program. Our mission is not to convince every veteran to buy a home. Our mission is to make sure that veterans in the Lakeway area do not miss an opportunity simply because no one took the time to explain it. To every veteran, service member, National Guard or Reserve member, and eligible surviving spouses that are listening, thank you. Thank you for your service. You deserve honest answers. You deserve to understand your options. You deserve professionals who respect the benefits you earn. And when home ownership is the right decision for you, you deserve a team that is prepared to help you navigate your journey. You, my friend, served our country. Now allow us the opportunity to serve you. This has been the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information anywhere on the planet. If you are a veteran or you know a veteran who may benefit from this information, do me a favor, share this episode with them. And if you've used a VA home loan before, I want to hear about your experience. What is one thing you wish you had known before the beginning of the process? Leave your answer in the comments. Your experience with the VA home loan may help another veteran, may help them take the first step. Let me leave you with 3 key takeaways. First one, the VA loan is an earned benefit, not a weak loan product. The strength of the buyer and the offer should be evaluated using complete facts, not outdated assumptions. Second thing, eligibility does not equal automatic approval. Veterans still need to have the appropriate documentation, lender qualification, and the property has to meet the requirements. Third, the right first step is education, not pressure. Veterans should understand their benefit, the financial position, realistic payment, property options, and next steps before deciding whether to buy. Friends, thank you for watching and listening today's podcast. This has been another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information anywhere on the planets. To all of our veteran friends, we salute you.